What's good, everybody? Welcome to Man Talk.
Coming from the mind of a man.
Where no conversation is off limits.
Buckle up, let's ride out. All right, everybody, welcome to Man Talk. This is episode 1, new podcast coming from the mind of some brothers here. We're going to do a round table and kind of freestyle it. My name is Anthony.
Sam Mack.
Black.
And this is your favorite resident realtor. See what I did there? David.
Favorite resident realtor. That's
I like that.
I like that, though. So we want to get everybody caught up to know who these guys are. So we just got to kind of give a little bio, a little background on everybody, where we come from, and why we're doing this Man Talk. I think personally it's needed, it's necessary, but we're not going to bore you and make it all about men. So we're going to learn from different, perspectives, angles, news, women. We got some of the ladies, they've sent us some questions, and so we gonna get information from everywhere and present it to you. So let's just kind of get it open, man. Who want to jump in and talk about themselves?
Okay, so as I said, I'm the residential realtor, just for you slow folks that didn't pick that up. Husband, father of 2, Marine Corps veteran. And that's pretty much me.
I want to ask you something though, Mr. Resident Realtor.
Yes.
What's the one thing that nobody knows about you that if they found out about you, they would be surprised? They would be shocked.
I ain't as mean as I look.
You know what?
And he's right about
Yeah. I got to give you that.
Yeah.
I got to give it because I was a little intimidated by you at first. But you a straight homeboy. You all right? Yeah, all right. Sometimes. All right, we ain't got to that sometimes, guys. So who's next?
All right, well, I'm your main man, Sam Mack. Married, 8 children.
Wait a minute, we're going to blow past this 8 children.
Yeah, 8 children, man. We like to refer to ourselves sometimes as the Black Brady Bunch.
Be fruitful and multiplying.
You better believe that one. But well, my wife, she has 4 children, and I have 4 children. And when you put them all together, the last time I checked, that makes 8. So
The Brady Bunch.
there you go. So, yeah, associate pastor at Fort Christian Center, former Army soldier. I was in the food service business. And one thing, and since you asked Dave, I think, well, you didn't ask me that question, so I
Same
said
question.
answer.
So what's the one thing, if we found out about you, we would be shocked? Because right now you seem to be a pretty open book kind of guy, but I'm sure there's something that you ain't never said that you may not want to say on this podcast. But if we find out about you, man, we just be mind blown.
I had this boom box when Purple Rain first came out. And I was doing a concert. My mom opened the door on me. I had this blue T-shirt because Prince had the little taco meat on his chest.
No.
And my uncle had this house coat, man, and I had the broom, used the antenna of the microphone. So I was just kind of going in, and my mom walked. She's the only one to ever see me perform Prince live.
That's funny.
I would have took you for an LL type of dude, but
She's the only one. And the only reason she came because she was watching those stories, and I was in there too loud, and she just busted that door open and caught me in mid.
Have they been able to live it down?
She the only one. I don't tell this story. Y'all the first ones to know about that.
Okay, so my last question on that, brother Pastor Sam. You didn't have the booty eye pants.
I was going to ask about the chaps.
Oh, you didn't have the
No, actually,
cheeky.
that was before then, because Purple Rain
okay.
came before
Okay.
Get Off.
So you wasn't cheeky.
No,
Right,
never
Now I
happened.
do know one thing about you though, that you did share with a group of pastors. I think about you and your wife. That was kind of funny.
Oh, we ain't doing
We ain't doing that.
No.
All right, that's another.
Ouch. Your scratch up.
episode.
There are some conversations that are off limits.
What
man.
stays in the
All right,
wood, what goes on in the woods,
Stays in the
stays in the woods of Tennessee.
That's what it is, man. But that's funny. All right, Blackmon.
Blickety blick.
All right. I'm Blackmon, better known as Pastor Blackmon at the Forward Christian Center. And I have 2 boys, both of them grown. One of them work at the airport. One of them is a truck driver who drives all over the world. And I stay in contact with him so I can make sure he's safe. and I'm married to my lovely wife Carla, and we work in the ministry together and have fun doing it. We love serving. That's one thing we do, and that's one thing about us. We love to serve on any level we can. We just love helping people and just giving, and doing everything we can to make the world a better place. And that's why I'm here, so we can discuss some things to help people with stuff they don't have a clue about.
And make the world a better place.
Right.
Now, one thing that you did that these other two gentlemen did not do, you shouted your wife out. These other two brothers did not shout their wives out.
I said I was married to my wife.
Oh, you did?
I did.
I definitely said my husband and father too.
Oh.
Oh, but
I
somebody
ain't call no names out.
Oh, y'all didn't call no names.
I said call no names out.
Well, Pastor, Mr. Blake, if there was one thing that we have not known about you that you could spit out and it would just shock us, horrify us, mesmerize us, what would it be?
Well, it's a number of things I can name, but I'll just say one thing that from my childhood, I used to jump off the top of houses. Some people think that was crazy, but
The house was on like, what, 2-3 feet high, right?
oh, they was high. They was real high.
Now I know them houses back in the day.
They used to be high.
What was the purpose? What was going on?
For fun.
Boredom.
I thought it was fun.
Georgia?
No, right here in
Oh,
Jacksonville.
man, okay.
See, I thought you was from like the backwoods somewhere.
That would make sense.
No. I was my parents was born in the country, but I think I probably had some of that country boy in me.
So jumping off houses did what? It was just
Just a thrill.
a thrill.
It just was a thrill.
Did you break any ankles?
Not one time.
Back broken? Knee?
Nothing.
It's funny how when you're little, I mean, you're just like super invincible. Try to do that now. And if you sneeze wrong, if you just cough.
Better believe that one.
Can't do none of that now.
Jumping off houses.
Not at all.
Yeah, I think it was that purity and naivete, as they might say, of being a child. Like you didn't know pain.
Well, somebody told me that when I broke my arm in the 4th grade, so that don't hold true when I jumped off a car.
Oh, he used to jump off cars.
I think there's an art to the jump, I guess.
Yeah.
Did you jump, tuck, and roll?
It's the thrill.
Did you jump, tuck, and roll?
Well, I used to try and learn how to flip, but I never did get it down pat, so I left it alone.
Okay.
I got to land on my feet.
Yeah, I never learned how to
See
flip
my
either. I'm
feet.
top heavy, as you can see.
I no. I tried to teach myself how to, do the somersaults. And the very first one I did, I forgot to kick my legs out, so I landed on my knees.
Ooh.
Right on my knees.
I know that was painful.
On the concrete.
That
in
was
the streets.
painful.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was painful. So, needless to say, your boy never learned how to do a somersault. That was it. But you're listening to Anthony. I'm also a pastor here at the Ford Christian Center. Love this place. I love the fellas here. I love the partners here. I am married to my wonderful wife, Sky. We've been married 5 years. I have a son. He is 24. He's studying digital media arts down in Boca Raton. Only have one son. He's mixed, so we call him Blackino. And he calls himself Blackino, and I just kind of agree with it. And his hair is longer than most women. It's nice and long. I think that's his strength. He won't let me cut it no more. And
Samson.
Oh, yeah. There's a long story behind the hair stuff, because I used to stay on it, give him a nice fade. And his only sign of rebellion after leaving the house is letting his hair grow. And he flaunts it every time he come home.
Be yourself.
Yeah.
And I guess he trying to hold on to it until his hairline start receding like that.
Because what's going to happen?
He seen dad.
He's seen the future. He's seen his dad. He's seen his grandpa. Yep.
I might as well enjoy it while I can.
That's right. That Filipino, he's enjoying the Filipino style right now, because he got the nice thick hair, like his grandpa on the Filipino side. But he gonna have a receding hairline like his granddaddy.
It's coming
on my side.
You just gonna speak that into existence?
I'm not
just
speaking
hate.
it.
Just hating on the man. I mean, no, I hate on my son hair too.
DNA is strong.
But all he has to do is look into the future.
That's right.
I mean,
It won't be long.
And
like
it's
he inherited everything from my daddy's mama side, because they all Native American and from the Caucasus Mountains and stuff like that. So they light skinned, tall, long haired people. I wasn't blessed with that. So, yeah.
I can't wait to see the mirror when he grows up.
I know you talking about my son. Oh, you talking about?
The mirror.
'Cause, man.
That's if you ever hear me talk about the mirror,
Okay.
that's who I'm talking about. Manny Fresh.
Manny Fresh.
All right.
But yeah, I am a lover of music, producing, all that good stuff. Been able to tour with some great artists. We did a concert with Kirk Franklin back in the day, Lecrae. I don't want to name drop right now, but we just
Did a good job, but
It's done. Now it's out there.
They should say they did a concert with Anthony. That's what
There you go. There you
That's
go.
the story you don't hear. Got to get with them brothers. But anyway, I think the other thing, as you hearing right now, I love being in a conversation with fellas, and I think it's something that's missing, and I think it's something that's definitely needed, and which is again one of the reasons for this particular podcast. So some of the topics that we have coming up in the near future.
So, as my phone is loading up, because I didn't know they were going to ask me about that.
Be ye ever ready?
Right. 'Cause
Well, here's one. Let me throw this one out while you getting yours.
it's already up. But,
Okay, so-
go ahead. Where you want to start?
Well, I'm gonna start off with this one right here because this was I just experienced this on this weekend. Kids considering suicide, and going beyond that, actually going through with the act. I was at a funeral of a close friend. His daughter, 28 years old, beautiful young lady. She could make any and everybody smile, everybody laugh, but she herself was battling depression, and she ended up committing suicide. And the common thing that all of her friends said, when the family come up and speak on behalf of the deceased, was that they were surprised. They were shocked because they never knew. Nobody knew. There was one or two times she admitted that she was suicidal to her dad, but after that, she would go back into that mask. So that's one of the topics we're going to dive deeper into, in a future episode, kids considering suicide.
One of my favorites on here is I love my wife, but I don't like her right now. And all of us are sitting here at this table are married. Mm-hmm. I don't know how many men or women, would be willing to admit that they are faced with, that situation. We do love them, but we do have those moments where you just don't like each other right now. For whatever reason it may be, it's just, look, I'm not feeling you right now.
Yes, Lord.
Nothing is wrong. It's not that we had it to the divorce court. I'm just not feeling you right now because we're human and we get on each other's nerves. Mm-hmm. That's a part of life cycle. Mm-hmm. But the one thing I like about it is that we're able to turn that thing around and we just come back to liking each other.
Yeah.
But a lot of people choose to stay in that I don't like you mode way too long.
Way too long.
You know what I'm saying? And then that opens up the door for a whole bunch of other foolishness.
Yeah, that's
but I think when we allow ourselves to see, why we not feeling each other, which is a lot of times it's those small things, we are able to come back around. But I do like that subject matter, and I think that if we were able to do this live, man, the conversations that we can have from men,
we will have
women,
to shut off the comments.
Yeah, but it's funny about that when I do a little side work, from time to time or whatever. And one of my wife's rules once we got married is, anytime we talk to each other, before we end that conversation, we let each other know we love each other. So the pastor I grew up under, he said, "Oh, so you one of them people too? Y'all have to, baby. I love you. What happened when you don't love her?
Wow.
Oh, the love never goes anywhere. I just might not like you.
Exactly.
I might picture myself thumping you in the forehead, but I still love you. In the funniest way. I don't know about y'all wives, but my wife, the easiest way to get out of that I don't like you mode, that awkward silence is, you hungry?
I thought you were going to say something else, but that worked too.
Hey, no, because I don't like that. Here, come get it. No. You got to want that, but no, that food always seem to fix it. I don't know.
And that's the one thing that you said, what the pastor was saying about the love. People confused seem like and love.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They don't understand that that's two different things.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So you think you can like somebody and not love them, or can you love somebody without liking them?
Well, I think you have to have the love.
The love.
For
In
the
order
for
to
the
be-
light.
for the
I
light.
mean, just not necessarily, we could say that Jesus kind of love, that God kind of love, like that love for all men, but not necessarily like I got to be in love with you to like you. Like
Agape?
but to say that I don't love you but I like you seems contradictory.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think when you're first starting out, though, that's where that difference come in, because you have to first kind of like that person, before now, like you said, we have that agape love for everybody, where we just have that, where he says love everybody. I think we kind of have that, but when it kind of gets into like friendships or relationships or things, it got to be something that you like about that person.
Right.
To even want to get engaged, to find out more about them. So I think, it's just sometimes, when you get hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because the Bible the Bible never says that, we're going to enjoy those things about each other all the time. And that's why we have to be able to see past each other's faults. You know what I'm saying? Because God knows that we're human and we're going to get on each other's nerves.
Well, here's the thing, because we can talk about this one a lot.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to getting to this particular episode because I have some things going on in my mind. I'm going to write down some questions I want to ask you. What are you going by? Timothy?
Sam.
Prince?
See, some people you just can't tell.
Can't
tell them nothing.
Wait till tomorrow. Wait till we get around other people.
See, somebody going to see me out in public and they going,
and it's gonna be me over in aisle 10. That's gonna be the call, bird call.
Ooh, that's a hard one.
Yeah. All right. So that's another one we're gonna have coming up.
Another conversation for us, because like we said, no conversation is left unturned, and this is a conversation that I take kind of personal, not because I had to come out, but one of my siblings had to come out to the family, and like we have conversations now, and he always says, I wish I would have been this comfortable when I was younger because we could have had a much better relationship. But, me coming from an old school family, I don't know if I would have been as open-minded back then either. But I seeing the childhood suicides and stuff when people are coming into those areas of confusion in their life, regardless of right or wrong, it's still an issue that they're dealing with. So we have to be able to be receptive enough to hear what they're going through, not necessarily telling them everything is right and everything like that. It's, baby, I hear you. How can I help? Where can we go from here? That type of thing. It's just having that open mind just to receive, to still love in spite of.
So what was yours again?
Kids coming out to their parents.
Coming out. Okay. That is a very hot subject right now. Very hot. Even on social media. I don't know how attached y'all are to social media. But most of the news feeds I see where the kid is bullied, even to the point of suicide or death, it stems from them coming out. And then I think something I want to talk more about is from the side of the believer, still loving them, not convicting, condemning, you going to hell, what scriptures do you use? How do you love them? That type thing. Most of them don't feel loved. Then they have the choice words to say about the church. The church is this way and the other, and that kind of things. And I do think there's a way as a believer and as a man that we should address that situation. And so I definitely want to get into this.
And I know we're going to move on to another thing, but I think too, I know for a fact that when we are, confronted or we have to address those type of topics, we really have to be Holy Spirit led, because if you think about it, a lot of people are just coming straight from their flesh when they're dealing with those who may be in the homosexual or lesbian or even dealing with depression or marriage struggles. You know, a lot of people just come straight from the flesh and they don't let that love of Christ come through. Jesus, he told it like it was, but yet at the same time it was done with love. Now a lot of people rejected it because he was stepping on their toes. We're gonna step on some toes, but I think in the grand scheme of things, it's all about to get that soul, delivered from that situation. Was everybody delivered and saved back then? No. And will that happen? No.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yet still we are to do as best as we can to do it like he did and not be in the flesh when you're going to hell. The Bible says this.
Fire and brimstone.
You know, even though Jesus came at you like that, he could do that because he was God himself. So we have to still have that mindset, although we're not God, but we still have the Holy Spirit dwelling on the inside of us, and he's telling us to say it this way. But no, we want to do it this way.
Yeah.
And it's like with another topic is with marriage struggles. You know, a lot of people, we have them. You know, we have our struggles with our relationship with God. You know, so in marriage is the one relationship that he likens. You know, so even though we have those marriage struggles and we have struggles in our relationship when we're walking this Christian walk, we still have to allow the Holy Spirit to just to lead and guide us through all these kind of things. So I think, man, this gonna be good.
Yeah. So we have a lot of good ones. Any other ones y'all want to throw on the table?
Yeah, I want to kill myself. That's the one I was looking at.
Oh, that's the title. Oh, I thought you were just kind of blurting something out.
We were getting ready to get you some help, Doctor.
Podcast over.
Yeah, podcast over.
Yeah, and the reason I say that, you know, man, I mean, it's beautiful here in this world and everything, but I think sometimes too, it's because a person don't recognize, maybe they feel that nobody love them.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of like drive them to doing what they're doing. And that's one thing we got to exemplify in this world is love, man, because people need love.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that really kind of separate people when they feel they ain't loved, and then they gets off in an island by themselves, and then they do it to themselves. They kill themselves. But because I remember I had a cousin, and he was all by himself. I used to go around and sit with him and talk with him, and then next thing you know, he done jumped off a bridge. And that really hurt me.
Wow.
Because I was trying to share the love of God, with him, being with him, helping him, doing stuff for him and everything. But
now, I've always heard that quote, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. A lot of times that is in the way we say things, so you can say the right things the wrong way.
Man,
and just mess it all up. And that goes in with, I'm gay. I love my wife, but I don't like you right now. Getting those points across, things that's in your heart and you want to say it. And I'm learning really good in this season I'm in right now how to convey those things to my wife, to my son, and feeling that check from Holy Spirit to say, now is not the time, or now is the time, but say it like this.
Right. Love.
Right. Don't use the words you always or you never, those kind of things, and so I had the opportunity of putting that into practice recently and talking to my wife about some things, and it went over very well. So there's a way that we need to address those things.
It's a way, always a way.
And a good thing, a good thing about this generation coming up is, as Charlemagne the God says, we're the first generation that's able to do something about our problems because, in our community, the black community, and in the faith, a lot of times, it's either we don't tell people about stuff like that or pray about it. But God has put people in this world that you can actually talk to. There's a reason Jesus said, take my yoke upon you, excuse me, because there's a burden in life. There's a burden with things that's going on in your mind and you're not able to share stuff like that. It weighs you down. So being able to be that person, be that open mind. I ain't got the open face, so people, might be a little hesitant to come to me. But, be that open ear that's just here to listen, because another issue with me, and I think it's an issue for all men, we tend to want to be fixers all the time. But I don't need you to fix this right now. I just need you to hear what I'm saying. And it irks me because I'm the type of person, don't come to me with a problem if we can't come up with a solution. Because when a problem is just a problem, it's useless. But that's where we get to pushing people away when they don't feel comfortable enough to, hey, I just wanted to get this off me and let's keep it moving.
Right.
But another topic that I take near and dear is, veterans coping with civilian life, life after the military, because everybody at this table, veterans.
Yep.
Oh, well, he done fought in the army of the Lord, Pastor Blackmon.
For years. A long time.
Having friends and then going through those areas of depression myself, where I never really realized it was depression because, like I said, we don't talk about stuff like that in my community. I just felt like I'm in a slump and I need to get myself together. Mm-hmm. But then you get out of it, grow out of it, and look back, and that was 4 years of me being on the edge.
Yeah.
And a lot of veterans go through this thing because they don't want to either, like in my situation, I didn't feel like I did enough in the military to qualify to have issues. Mm-hmm. Or I felt like I didn't have anybody to go to with this because nobody will understand because they didn't go through this particular situation.
Right.
Or just because I'm dealing with the VA and the VA don't want to pay you for your issues, so they'll tell you ain't nothing wrong.
Call them out.
I'm always gonna do that. Keep giving me water and Motrin and telling me to change my socks ain't gonna help with everything.
Nope.
Yeah.
But
And it don't make any sense. I was just watching something on TV and they were talking about the Vietnam vets. As a matter of fact, just having a conversation over at Victor Key House is where this came from, and we was just talking about how those that were in the Vietnam War and just those just coming back and they're kind of whatever they're going through, homelessness, and that just kind of messed me up. Why are our veterans? Homeless.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Why are they the people that are struggling the most?
Are the
when they
majority.
went out there now, true enough, they may have gotten themselves hooked on the drugs or whatever, but still, they should be veterans should be some of the most well taken care of people in this country.
You would think.
Because if it wasn't for us, we wouldn't be the country that we are now to this day. So why are we not taking care of our vets? That's what I don't get.
because the politicians' kids don't go to war.
That's right.
That's aggravating.
There was a recent story where this veteran, he was homeless, lived homeless, but when he died, he was, buried in the funeral with honors.
Oh, just recently I saw.
Yeah, and I thought, thank God that they were there for that. But why did he have to live like that?
Yeah.
So you give him his flowers when
When he's gone.
When he's gone.
Yeah.
And so I tried to get the positive on both sides. But why not give this man this? And then I was thinking, when he's alive, you have to be in a position to where you can receive it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's possible that he just wasn't in the mindset to receive. So there's a lot of different aspects to that, but it was just,
that's a conversation
really,
I don't think we'll ever end, man, because of what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
You got to look at that person for one thing. Because they could be touched mentally, they're not thinking clearly, so now they don't want to receive the help that is being offered, so now they're out there. But then, too, are those out there that want the help, you know what I'm saying? But then people just look down on them and don't want to help. So it's that kind of thing, that's a never-ending conversation. Yeah. But we're going to have some good topics coming up. And some of this stuff I really hope we could do live with a live audience.
Well, that's one aspect of Man Talk that we want to get around to. So we'll keep you posted on when we go on live. But for right now, again, we just wanted to give you a peek inside of the brain, the minds of the four gentlemen standing here and sitting here. And we're going to be back, like I said, hopefully sooner than later with more dialogue, more conversation. Stay tuned to our social sites. We're going to put a lot of that stuff out there. We're still building, right now, but we're going to have some social stuff out there for social media. And make sure when you hear this podcast, download it, share it, and leave us a comment. And if you want to be a guest on the show, again, just let us know, and we will accommodate as best we can. But fellas, I think we're going to go ahead and make way on out of here on this one. And but we've had a good time. What were your last thoughts?
like I said, I'm excited and I'm looking forward to getting that public feedback. Ladies, we doing this thing with you all where you get to know the mind of a man and you can submit your questions. That's going to be a good one. So, yeah, that's going to be a good one. But, yeah, look forward to some great things coming from Man Talk.
Yeah. All right.
And I guess like Pastor Sam said,
I'm not in church, Doc.
Well, we are sitting.
Let it go.
You don't get that respect.
Yeah, we are sitting in a church. So, but just like the voice you heard before mine.
There you go.
I love that sarcasm.
AKA
boy.
Prince.
I'm looking forward to this open dialogue to let you know that, like, even though we're not in church, but we sitting in the church, let you know that there are open minds in the church. There are some real conversations in the church. Yeah. There are some real down home brothers in the church. Yeah. So stay tuned.
Because we're going to hit them all.
Yeah, that was good, right?
Everything short of cussing. I think if there's anyone at this table that might cuss,
it'll be me.
I'm going to say it.
Bring on the delay.
If you Pacific Standard Time, you might miss it. Yeah.
But the one thing before we sign out is what Cobb just said, though, is having the just down to earthness, because a lot of time people think, those of us that are saved in the body of Christ, that we're just so closed minded, all we know is just Bible. But we are humans and we share those human sides of us. So yeah.
What's that old term? Don't be so heavenly minded.
Yeah.
That you know earthly good. That's a lot of that.
As my grandma would say, you ain't worth a. I ain't gonna finish it.
Go ahead and say it.
Come on, I got my finger on the delay.
Go ahead. He's gonna miss it. I missed it.
For real, right? You never know what's gonna come out.
Any last words there, sir?
Blake?
Yeah. Whatever it is, y'all get it out and let us know some of the things y'all want to talk about. And because we're going to get it out. We're going to tell you the truth. We ain't holding nothing back. We got to tell you the truth, put it out there, and we got to deal with some things. That way, we all can do the best we can do.
All right, that's what it is. All right, so we're going to go ahead and sign on out of here, but we're going to be back next time with another exciting episode. For right now, this is Man Talk. Let's talk about it.